The recap we're going to do right now is about the lockdown of California, Washington, and Oregon right now. You know, the lockdown we have that in 3 states. Do you know how many businesses are leaving each state? How many businesses in each state are leaving?
How many?
Okay, 2.3 million jobs are leaving California. Small businesses. 250,000. Now it was before they got this. It was corrected by the by Newsmax. By the way, it was not 150,000. It's 250,000 businesses leaving Oregon. These are small business owners leaving the whole entire state of Oregon. 450,000 small business owners are leaving out of Seattle, going down. Guess they're all going to Arizona and Texas right now. They're all going down. Arizona and Texas right now.
I understand all that, but the bottom line is this. Where is it in the law that the powers that be, whoever they are, the Department of Justice, the FBI, anybody, I don't know who it would be, the powers that be out there, we have no powers that be that could come and say, hey, you're destroying, you are doing everything wrong, you're incompetent, you're negligent, and you don't deserve to be in this position because you're destroying the state, which is corruption, and you need to go. So either leave or we'll have you arrested. I mean, seriously, there has to be a way to remove these people who are intentionally in violation of human rights. Human rights to work, human rights to earn a living, sending the police to arrest you because you're trying to earn a living while you're being forced to pay their wages on top of it. How do you pay their wages if you can't work? How do you pay their wages if you're forced into the street as a homeless person? How do you pay their wages when you can't even pay for your own utilities or your rent or feed your children? Because these idiots, and they are idiots, are forcing people to be financially distressed, physically distressed, emotionally distressed. There has to be some lawyers, constitutional lawyers, there has to be somewhere in the law that says if somebody is that incompetent and overreaching and abusing their power to the point of being dictators outside of their realm of upholding the Constitution, which they swore to do, and protecting the welfare and safety and health of Americans, which they have failed to do, and protecting the financial and emotional, physical stability of their citizens, which they failed to do, they need to go. I mean, it should be that simple.
Yeah, it should, but it's not, man. It should be simple, but the liberals made it so they actually have their by the 9th District Court of Appeals, where they make their own laws, and that's exactly what we have here. They're making their own laws, their own retribution of wealth, and also the share the wealth too as well. Remember, everybody has to be equal.
There are people who are corrupted within the system, in the Department of Justice, in the FBI. Not all of them, but there has to be, and in the court system, who are so involved in greed and making money and involved in all this stuff, because there's no way this could happen. No way on earth without the system, certain people within the system helping these corrupt public servants to become wealthy while they get a cut of the pay. Like it was in the Ukraine just released newspaper articles that stated that the Burisma CEOs and executives testified against Joe Biden and alleged under testimony and oath that they paid him $900,000 kickback for that $1 billion loan. So nobody cares. He seems to care.
Right. I know it.
So what that means, though, but people aren't understanding. That means that these politicians are giving saying they're giving loans to these corrupt countries, which are our tax dollars in the billions, and then people within the government are getting kickbacks. That is total corruption.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's pure evil, is what it is. I mean, the bottom line is this is like Gestapo. I mean, this is exactly what the Nazi Germany was all about. By the way, this is exactly what they're doing. They're actually bringing it into dictatorship into this country. That's exactly what they're doing. They're doing that. And you know what?
Trying to do.
And that is that they're trying to do. And you know what? It's not going to work because again, we got President Trump is going. He's fighting for this country. He's fighting for us. He's fighting for every single job out there because there's a lot riding on this election. He knows that everything's riding on this election. If we're going to be a free nation, or we're going to be a socialist nation. Right. Right.
I mean, I can just see, in 2000, I don't know, 2008, 16, 17, I was in Arizona, and then I was flying back. I was at the Tucson airport, and the Chinese army was marching through there in their uniforms, and everybody was just stunned just watching them march through the airport, and everybody's going, what are they doing here? What are they doing here? Of course, nobody had answers. In 2010, I was in San Francisco, and docked in the port was a beautiful Russian Navy ship, and two Chinese military ships with missiles pointed, which someone pointed out, a man. And I'm just like, why are they docked? This was under the Obama regime. Why are they docked in our San Francisco port? Did they stop by for Chinese food? What's going on here? Because what happened to international water laws? They aren't supposed to be docked in our ports. So there's been something sinister going on for a long time because people forgot that under Obama's regime, UN troops were also on our soil. And we saw, and then Obama was buying up all the FEMA trains with our tax dollars and ammunition with our tax dollars. And their whole goal was gun control, get the guns away from the American people.
And FEMA
that's
camps.
What China
I remember
also wanted
that.
was to wanted the Obama regime to do was take our guns away. And then you find out that all these people are linked to and making profit from the CCP and China.
Yeah.
And now they're all trying to get back into office to continue on with their new world order, one world government, dictatorial, totalitarian, authoritarian government, which is treason and traitors and sedition and misdemeanors and high crimes. But they truly believe, and Obama even stated it, the Constitution and Congress are meaningless. And when he stated that, the Congress applauded. They should have stood up and walked out the exit door, but they stood up and applauded. So this is where the clues were, and people weren't paying attention, but I always pay attention to what they're doing and saying, because it's very important to the loss of the Constitution and our human rights and our freedom. Because if you look at China and you see what they do to their citizens, God forbid that these people ever succeed at bringing that totalitarian regime to our country.
Right. Is that they got 4 more years of Donald Trump, and then either Donald Trump Jr. is going to win, or it's going to be Ted Cruz is going to win, because they're going to both run for president next 2024. They both announced they're going to both run, so that would be a good match. I don't know that the Democrats already want Bernie Sanders and Pocahontas. Pocahontas to be the vice president. That is, Elizabeth Warren, Pocahontas. So you got Crazy Bernie and Elizabeth Warren as a Democrat Party 2024, by the way.
Well, I don't know if they're going to run or not, but I do think that one of a good female representative who wanted to run would be Sidney Powell.
Yeah, that would be good. I mean, but I'd like to see Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz with, by the way, Ted Cruz, if he ran, he would have, believe it or not, Sheriff David Carton, Sheriff David Carton, a Milwaukee sheriff from Milwaukee, uh, um, a um, uh, a black American for a vice president as a sheriff. What a great team that would be.
Okay, I like him a lot. I have no problem with that. Except I'm not attacking you at all. Trust me. But I am so sick of people saying black, Hispanic. Why can't we all just be Americans? You know, Jim Jones
Right.
is running for president. John Smith is running for president. Mary Jane Brown is running for president. Why do we have to label people? I can look at somebody and see they're black. I don't need people to keep telling me they're black. Why do we do that in this country? Because that divides people. It keeps people apart and separated instead of looking at people as Americans and human beings. We're Americans, just like Europeans are Europeans. We're Americans, just like Asians are Asians in their countries. We are all Americans. And if we're going to all be Americans, then why do people keep pointing out skin color? Good grief, let's get over it.
And also,
I can look at someone and see if they're from China or, you know, beautiful young girls or the elderly. You know, I can look at them and see that. I don't need to say they're Chinese. You know, Mary Wong or whatever is running for president. Mary Wong is running for president. I can tell by her last name. She's Chinese. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, let's drop all of the race and ethnicity.
I agree.
Let's just all be Americans and unite, and because it's dividing this country by race and ethnicity.
Well, I said black American is what I said. I said black American here. And I didn't say African American. I said black American is what I said. So, I mean.
But I don't even care. Why do we have to say he's black? I can look at him and see he's black. I don't need to be told he's black. He doesn't need to be reminded he's black.
Well, some liberals don't know who Jared Clark is. That's a problem. They both are not educated enough to understand what's
Doesn't
going on.
matter. His skin color has nothing to do with his running for president or Congress. We have so many black people in Congress now.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, seriously. I mean, I don't understand what the problem is about that.
And Latinos too. Don't forget, we got
skin
Latinos. Don't forget, we also got. Remember, we got the Republican Party of Texas. I'm going to have, believe it or not, this week, bros. I won't really tell you this. We're going to have I know you don't like category people, but I'm going to have the president of Latinos of the Republican Club on my broadcast network this Friday. That is the truth. That is the truth. I'm telling you the truth because she is saying that she's the Republican Latino Club of Texas, okay, down in Houston. We're going to have her on this coming week. So I just want to let you know that because she calls herself a Latino American. But that's okay. I mean, she can do that. It's okay for her to say that because that's who she is. That's what she's going to do. Let her do that.
That's exactly what people have fallen into the trap of. The Latino group, the black group, this group. Why can't we all be Americans is what I'm saying. We don't need these groups if we're all Americans to start looking at people as human beings rather than the color of their skin or their ethnicity. Why can't we all just unite as Americans? It's not important. I mean, if we're all striving for the same thing, and we're not all striving for the same thing, but if the majority of people are striving.
Well, it's a history of culture, too. You think about the history of culture. I mean, so you think about where they came from, how they got here. I mean, you got to think about that, too.
Well, many of them were born here.
Some of them. I mean,
why are people divided like that? Just because you look at someone and you see, oh, he's Hispanic, it doesn't mean he was born in Mexico. It could mean that they were born right here.
Yeah, but
And they're just as American as anybody else, and so are the loyal immigrants who come here legally. And I'm not for illegal immigration, and I'll say it again. I am not for illegal immigration. You want to enter into the country, you come here legally, stand in line, take your turn like everybody else used to do, and who love this country, were vetted, had background checks, and who pledged their allegiance to the U.S. flag and the Constitution. We have people coming here now who hate our country and have come here to undermine our Constitution and have infiltrated into our Congress and other government positions. Why do we need them in our government if they are anti-American and we know they are undermining our government? You know why? Because money is putting them into office.
Yeah, I know. And again, they got Vietnamese that are escaping from Vietnam right now. They're coming to America legally, not illegal, legally, and they were escaping. They're torturing right now Christians right now. I mean, that's what the regime is doing over there right now in Vietnam. We're going to have a Vietnam War again under God forbid, if we have Joe Biden, we're going to have another Vietnam War again. You watch. Mark my words, it's going to happen.
We aren't going to have Joe Biden because Joe Biden is going to go back in his basement where he's happy.
Actually, no, he'll go to prison because because of Lifetime from Hell. It shows it got exposed.
Trump is going to be the president of the United States. He was duly elected on November 3rd, 2020, and that should be the end of the election.
Yeah, it should be. You're right. Absolutely correct. And the news media got it wrong. So that's why President Trump is calling out on him. This is great. I'm glad he's doing that. He's calling all the networks up. He's calling all the blue states right now. That's what he's doing. He's making phone calls to all the governors of blue states. That I won. Shut up about it. I declared a winner. That's all there is to it. If you don't like it, let the door hit you, or the good Lord split you. That's how I look at this. That's how I look at it. You know, my friend Ron Howell said it hit the best. Let the door hit you, or the good Lord split you.
Well, this is what this is. I can tell you what this is. This is God purging our nation. This is God exposing corruption and sin and murdering babies and pedophiles.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Wild. I mean, this is what this is. It's opening up the eyes of the American people who had their heads buried in the sand forever. And when in 2012, they realized that something was wrong with the elections when one of the major liberal stations posted 2 weeks before that Barack Obama won. So then they immediately, removed it, but it was too late because many of us saw it. So if you think this is the first time elections have been rigged, heaven forbid, it is not.
Right, and remember, 2012, what happened with Mitt Romney, and also 2000. Remember back in 20 years ago, what did they do with George W. Bush? Remember, they were counting the chads. Remember that? They were counting the chads. And remember that? They were counting the damn chads 20 years ago, and now in 2012, remember 2012, Mitt Romney won. They stuffed the ballots in 4 states. Remember that? They said they had corruption in 4 states. One was Pennsylvania, one was Ohio, one was it was Iowa, Illinois, and it was what other state was it? It was Virginia. Virginia again. Remember Virginia? Remember that? It was 5 states. Sorry. So it was 5 states. Mitt Romney, they could have won if he challenged it. What did he do? He caved in. He caved in, saying he conceded. Remember that? He conceded to President Obama. But they could have won if he challenged it. The guy was pussy whipped. I want to say that right now. He was pussy whipped. I hate to say the word, but I had to say something because the guy was he caved in to the liberal Democrats, and now Mitt Romney, I call him Mittens, he wants to have President Trump concede. I don't think so. How about you, Rose? What do you say of this guy?
Well, I think it's really important to understand what Biden's doing. He's bringing back Kerry, who's also involved with Biden's stepson
Mm-hmm.
in China and Burisma and all that in business. And they are the shame on the fake reporters. We have no more news reporters. It's so sad. Not reporting on that laptop, not reporting on Burisma and Ukraine court cases that were already decided relating to the corruption, not reporting on the CCP and China and the son making deals with Chinese executives linked to the CCP and China's bank, the Bank of China, who are all making deals, buying up a United States company and then becoming partners, Biden's son's company, becoming partners with China, communist China's corporations, who were buying up a corporation in the USA who made parts for software and for military parts. So if people don't see the corruption that's happening here and how China is going to become the one world leader if this isn't stopped, meaning that there's going to be a huge genocide in the future. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a huge worldwide mass genocide because of people like Bill Gates, Melinda Gates, George Soros, Ted Turner, all of these liberal, wealthy people.
Jeff Bezos.
And the United Nations, and all these people who now believe they're gods because they can control people through technology and spying and tracking. That is called human rights violations. That's called tyranny. It's called dictatorship. It's called totalitarianism. And it's total human rights violations of real human beings because they believe they are the gods now. They are not the gods. They're going to find out who God really is in the end. Mm-hmm. And I mean, let me give you an example here. Besides him appointing Kerry and Obama and Hillary to all these positions to track and trace us and spy on us and send us to summer camps, we have Joe Biden already planning to nominate the former Federal Reserve Chair, Janet Yellen, to serve as his Treasury Secretary, a move that would put the first woman and a seasoned central banker into the nation's top economic policy job as the coronavirus pandemic threatens another U.S. shutdown. People familiar with the matter said they are going to use this COVID to take down the United States of America and the world if they succeed. Every American must support President Trump if you love the United States of America, God, Christianity, Jews, freedom, liberty, rights, ownership of property, having parental rights over your own children, because they're coming for your children and their minds, and they are going to train them up just like Hitler did, only it's worse now because they have all this advanced technology and they have put all these depopulation programs so that they don't procreate in the future into this brainwashing system using the public schools that is a communist Black Lives Matter curriculum. Believe it or not, they donated nearly $1 billion to Black Lives Matter. The owners were criminals, the top people, the leaders, anti-Americans who say they're here to undermine the family, the Constitution, the American way of life, and the system. And so they're here to take power. And so that's what they think they're going to do. And they have a whole curriculum on Marxism to insert, just like the Muslims have with Bill Gates and his Microsoft Common Core, Communist Core curriculum to insert into our schools Islamic studies, communist Marxist studies, and brainwash
Korean,
the
yeah.
children and into these depopulation programs. And that's why they're training them up into accepting gender identification and confusion and confusing
And
them.
ships.
And they're training them up to be transgenders and training them up to not like their own sex that God gave them upon which they were born. They're training them up to become same-sex couples and get rid of traditional family, traditional marriage, because this is part of the depopulation program, all inserted into Obamacare, along with mandated taxpayer-funded abortions worldwide, requiring the American people to pick up the tab worldwide, kill babies around the world. And so if people don't think this isn't the most evil, cynical, sinister agenda called the New World Order, the One World Government, the redevelopment, the redistribution, the sustaining of the planet ever created by Lucifer, then you better think again.
Now, well, we're going to end it right there. Thank you so much for your time, Rose. We appreciate it. We'll see you again next time. Remember, we are looking out for America. We're not looking out for you. We are, in fact, looking out for America. Thank you for your time, Rose. Thank you again. Thank you so much, because it's exactly how we're going to end this program today. Thank you so much for doing that.
You're welcome. God bless America, and God bless each of you, and may God keep his hand on America, and happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Bye-bye.
Merry Christmas. And also, we want to mention, too, that Second Amendment, too, as well. Keep your Second Amendment. If you want your freedom, then you support President Trump, and keep praying for President Trump, because, you know, right now with Donald Trump Jr. right now with he's fighting right now coronavirus right now, as you know. So our hearts and prayers go out for the Trump family. It really does. So we really, really do. So we want to let you know that. So thank you so much again. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.